Hello everyone, my name is Matheus Lacerda from the Federal University of Paraná, and I'm very glad to show this work in the 11th IWACP. This work was developed by me with Samuel João, Marcel Mariano Correia Maceno, and Michele Rigon Spear. The title of this work is Life Cycle Assessment Used for Product Development, a comparative study between fossil and vegetal productions. To start the presentation, we have the introduction. The plastic bag has become a product present in everyone's life because of their practicability to carry our purchase in the end of the shopping trip. However, these plastic bags are not used only in the transportation of our purchase to our home. In most cases, they are used later to accumulate household waste. When the single-use plastic bag is used for this purpose, recycle proved to be economically unviable because the high cost associated to clean the material. Another point that we should be emphasized is that using the single-use plastic bag to accumulate the household waste goes against the United Nations Environment Program, which promotes the use of the bag as many times as possible to reduce the environment impact. So, in this paper, we aim to present a new biological polymer as a substitute to the petrochemical polymers that are usually used on the market. The difference between those materials is that the biological material has a short lifespan until the decomposition. They are about 6 months to 2 years. And the main advantage is that in the decomposition process, they become nutrient to the environment because of the biological cycle of the material and not have toxic microplastic like the petrochemical material. So to compare those two materials, an effective measure must be performed from the raw material extraction to the final disposal to make a statement with which material has the lower environmental impact. For this measure, to measure the potential environmental impact, the life cycle assessment emerged as a method to analyze the environmental impacts of most diverse aspects, covering all the production process, starting in the extraction of the raw material and goes until the final disposal. The life cycle assessment is formally defined by ISO 14040 and 14044. And in this study, we use the life cycle assessment to answer the question: what is the environmental impact caused by plastic bag produced from different polymers? And the objective of this study was to compare the potential environmental impact of the single-use plastic bag produced from a new recipe of thermoplastic starch developed by the Federal University of Paraná in partnership with the State University of Londrina, with the two most used polymers used in the market to produce the single-use plastic bag, the high-density polyethylene and the low-density polyethylene. In the scope phase, we define the functions of the plastic bag, that is to carry our goods from the supermarket to our home. The function unit is to carry 4.5 kg of glossed ounce in the plastic bag. The reference flow was 1 thermoplastic starch bag and 0.9 plastic of high-density polyethylene and the low-density polyethylene. This difference is because the high-density polyethylene and the low-density polyethylene can carry 5 kg of shopping and the thermoplastic stars only carry 4.5 kilograms. The cranial to gray boundary was used because this boundary access all the phases starting in the extraction of the raw material until the final disposal in landfill. However, the impact associated with the transportation after the production process were not measured. To assemble the life cycle assessment and the life cycle inventory, we use the data developed from the biological polymer process and data from the literature for the petrochemical polymers. We have to do some adaptations using Eco-Invent version 3.8, and to perform the life cycle assessment, we use the Sigma Pro. The inventory we show in the next slide. Here we have the inventory that was used to make the life cycle assessment impact. Here we have the phases, the production phase, the use phase, and the end of the life. Here we have the quantity of material, and the weight of each bag, the consumption of the electrical consumption, and this we use to make the life cycle assessment. So the result of that inventory we have here. First, we use the recipe 2016 method to do the environment impacting, and here we have 3 impact categories that most influence in the life cycle assessment of the single-use plastic bag, that are the freshwater toxicity, the marine ecotoxicity, and the human carcinogen. Using the impact word plus, the impact category that most influence in the life cycle assessment of the single-use plastic bag is the freshwater ecotoxicity. So for this reason, we choose the freshwater ecotoxicity to do the comparison between the methods and for the 3 polymers. So with this in mind, the method have different measure units, so we have to harmonize the impacts of the freshwater ecotoxicity using the recipe. So here we have the graph of the impact of each bag in the 2 methods, and the impact measure in the impact word plus is bigger than the measure in the recipe. But in the 2 methods, the impact of the thermoplastic starch bag is bigger than the high density polyethylene and the low density polyethylene. And with this result, our harmonized result, we do the Monte Carlo simulation to see the range where the results are common for the 3 single-use plastic bag. And here we have the result. In using Monte Carlo simulation, all the polymers have a common range. So between this phase, we are not able to say which polymer has the lower or the high potential environment assessment. But in the previous slide, we saw that the thermoplastic star has a bigger potential environmental impact than the high density polished land and the low density polished land. So to finish the presentation, and this recipe used in this work of thermoplastic star has a bigger potential environmental impact than the high density polished land and the low density polished land. And with in mind, this recipe is not a good choice to make a new product to compete with the products that we have already in the market. So thank you so much for paying attention in this presentation. Here are my email if you have some doubts or suggestions to me. Matheus Lacerda at iwacp.br. And say again, thank you. Bye bye.